Okay, so by the time we come to the Atharva Veda, what happens is sacrifice was the central tendency of the way of life. We have already covered this sufficiently in the previous videos. Uh, how exactly do you express your commitment or express your connection with the way of life, the Rigvedic or the Aryan way of life? That was through sacrifice. It was through sacrifice that you were supposed or you were expected to pacify and placate the gods. All right. Now, since sacrifice had become the norm, uh, it is only safe for us to think that it may have continued for a period of centuries, because post Atharva Veda towards Brahmanas and the Upanishads, we see that there was this clear divergence from the sacrificial way of worship towards the being an ascetic, self mutilation, meditation, prayers, and all that. So that is going to happen at the later stage. But right now, since sacrificial mode of worship had become the central tendency, the people who had sufficient knowledge to conduct those sacrifices naturally came out at the top. We have established in the previous videos that the priests, right, they carved out a niche for themselves. Imagine something like a company coming into a market or in an economy with a monopolistic service. It's only they who could do it. So initially it was not so rigid, but later on it became rigid, it became hereditary, and this is how the natural precursor or the natural background for the Varna system came into being. Keep in mind, this is a transitory age. The false narrative that is usually propagated is that during this age the Aryans defeated the Dravidians and they subjugated them, and the people, since now there was intermingling of races, they had to come up with a Varna system, which is completely false. All right, the entirety of the Aryavart or the ultra unified Bharat was a singular entity. All right. So yes, people, there was a clear distinction. Even the Rig Veda mentions it, not Rig Veda exactly, but Satpatha Brahmana mentions that verily there are two kinds of gods. Gods had been described as two kinds. For the gods themselves are gods, okay? And then the priests who have studied and teach Vedic lore are the human gods. This is written in the Satpatha Brahmana. So yes, people who carried out those Vedic practices were also considered to be gods.